Hi, so welcome back to our program. Today, as you can see, we're outside the offices of IPE Group, and we're going to be meeting Mr. Adnan, who's going to be telling us a little bit about IPE and telling us about how they make their investment decisions. And in particular, we're going to be looking at the importance of knowing about market potential. First of all, thanks very much for making the time to see us today. It's great to meet you. Could you tell me a little bit about how you got into investing?
Well, I was primarily iBanker with Merrill Lynch, and once doing my accountancy qualification, I was very much involved in trying to understand the trends of various markets. But I was very lucky when I was in UK that I got into the property business at the early stages, where I think probably I had some good results, which led for me to have some money. And then I think when you were very young, I was probably early 20s when I saw some money coming in, and it made me feel, what can we do with it? At the same time, if we talk about specifically in the Bangladesh context, Bangladesh was going through a very interesting growth phase. In fact, the whole Southeast Asia was going through a growth phase. So that, because I'm Bengali, it actually made me get involved more in the Bangladesh investment scene. And it's all about seeing the opportunities, really.
More about IPE. I understand you've recently opened an office in Bangladesh.
Well, IPE has emerged out of UK. So our business started off out of UK. Actually, in fact, IP stands for Imam Private Equity. So it's actually my surname with the private equity attached to it.
I was wondering what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So IPE main operations is actually out of UK, and we are involved in private equity in UK, especially focused on turnaround recruitment companies. So that's where our focus is, and we're quite big in property development. I mean, in fact, that is the biggest business we've got at the moment. So we're quite a sizable business operation. So since 2008, I entered Bangladesh with in the real estate spectrum, and 2 years on, with the global recession and the downturn in the market and everything, that made me diversify more into the financial markets. So then I got involved with various platforms. So I got involved in the setup of a bank, asset management, merchant banks, and various kind of financial platforms. And over the last 2 to 3 years, we've been heavily involved in technology. And we are the largest BPO operator now in Bangladesh. And over the last probably year or so, I've got involved in the clothing business, the textile, and the RMG business. So it's a spectrum of businesses, but we feel that IP is pretty much like a holding company platform which holds decent stakes in some emerging companies, and it seems to be a mixture between traditional and non-traditional businesses. And all of them seems to be doing pretty okay.
Today, I particularly want to just chat with you about the importance of market potential.
Yeah.
I imagine when you're looking at a business to invest in, that's one of the key things that you look at.
Yeah.
What sort of weighting do you attach to the market?
Right. I think Bangladesh information is as difficult as it is and easy it is. So it's a matter of how you verify the information. One good thing is that if you really want to do something, you can actually get the information for that. So the market potential is something I feel. There's two things. One is if you've got something new, it's going to take some time for you to put into people's head, or actually make it work. Once it clicks really well. And the other side of the spectrum is something that's already established. So I think personally that whichever business you do, traditional or non-traditional business, I think there's enough information out there. You just have to go and get it. Say, for example, I have invested in the denim manufacturing business. So what I've done is there's enough knowledge base out there right now. There's a couple of big players out there. Then what we do is that we get one or two good consultants at the moment who collect the data for us. Now, again, like UK, you don't have sophisticated consultancy firms which basically you sit down, give them money, and they give you all the information. It doesn't work like that. So you have to actually segment it. So, for example, I would look at if I go to the capital markets, I can get the data on the performance of the financial performance, and then I speak to a couple of existing people who are in the market, and then you can get their information about the manufacturing challenges, and then you talk to some of the potential buyers. Then you talk to them about how the order is procured. So these three data, then you put together, and then you can make a decision. So it's not. I don't think it's a one-stop solution, but I know there are firms out there which does it, but I don't think there's anything that worked for us so far. So,
And you mentioned something really interesting about if there is a business with a new idea, something quite innovative, where there isn't sort of an existing market. How do you size the market in that instance?
Sure, I think you just have to look outside Bangladesh because everything that seems to work outside the country works in Bangladesh, with exception of something. I mean, like for example, if I talk about the food business right now, if you go, food business seems to be the new thing in Bangladesh, which is a very old thing in a lot of other countries. So either you set up, like for example, North End Coffee is just an example of what has happened in Bangladesh. This guy opened up a small shop next to the US Embassy, and now you see North End Coffee in every single stores. So the culture of how it spreads. So all they're doing is adapting to whatever the Western worlds are doing. But that's on one spectrum of people. Now, if you look at the wholesale people, I think that people are very open to ideas. So it's all about communicating. It's that this is something you can do it. Like, I feel there's a huge amount of internet penetration now in Bangladesh. So I think there's a lot of things coming up right now. So you'll probably end up seeing a farmer using the internet in the next couple of years. So it's all about education process, communication process. So I don't think it's that difficult. But unless you have something totally different and exceptional, then But
given that market potential is really important for you as an investor, how well do you, in your experience, are entrepreneurs who are seeking funding? How well are they able to articulate? How much do they know about the market that they're operating in, and how well are they able to articulate the growth potential of the market? Well, is that something that people tend to do quite well or do quite poorly?
Well, I think Bangladesh has got a problem. The problem is that everyone thinks they're a businessman, and that's the problem. I think if I, as an investor, look at a specific investor, I would like to look at the person's dedication towards the business and the knowledge base. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't invest in the business, you invest in the person. So, it's very important to understand that this person knows what he's talking about. I probably look at a lot of proposals where you talk to a person, brilliant, but at the same time, you're doing 5 different things. I'm not going to invest in that. So, I need someone who's dedicated, who's focused, who understands the business he's doing. So, that would be probably one of my key criteria for me to invest into. And to be honest, I think this country is very resilient. The people are very resilient. The people are very open, adaptive. So it's a matter of just knowing the right people. But at the same time, you can also get your hands burned. So you've got to be very careful. Whoever you're going to invest with, just make sure that you check the background, you know what this guy's talking about, and you have to make sure this guy's dedicated and is tied into the deal. Otherwise, don't do it.